Today, we're going to talk about the prices of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. And my ladies and gentlemen, there are less than 3 days left until the next major movements in the crypto market. Will Bitcoin's price rise towards $80,000? Will there be another crypto market correction later, or will it happen in the coming days? Let's start with Bitcoin's price, then discuss altcoins, new trades, and several events that will cause significant crypto market movements. Now look at what we've been discussing in our previous videos. I mentioned to you that between these specific red lines, there's a resistance level. So what exactly does a resistance line signify? It's the particular line from which the price could potentially move downwards. Over the past 7 days, Bitcoin's price has been hovering around these red lines. It has been fluctuating between 73,500 and 69,600. Why did I say 80,000? 80,000 will be approximately here, Kaizen. Here is the next resistance line. Why should the price move sharply, and is a correction even possible? So will we see $55,000 or maybe even $40,000? On Wednesday, the Fed's interest rate decision comes out, March 18th. And the crucial event is the following day, which is Thursday. Plus there's a press conference also on March 18th. What could the situation look like? They might not lower the interest rate. This would most likely be perceived negatively. However, at the press conference, they could state that due to the ongoing events between Iran and the United States, there is a strong possibility that inflation will increase in the upcoming months, specifically in April and May, and this would mean they will most likely wait until summer. So they're going to wait for summer until the interest rate is lowered? Let's take a moment to recall the support and resistance zones, as these represent all the potential entry points for long positions. These were located for us at 70,000 and 55,000, meaning that at 55,000 the support zone concludes. The next significant support zone is found at $45,000 and $40,000. You can clearly observe this on the right side of your screen, marked by the yellow and blue lines. Now we know where our resistance line is in case the Bitcoin price rises until Wednesday, right? But as I said, a very negative event could occur, and then we're interested in where the support zones are. So initially, our resistance line is located right here, meaning it concludes at 74,200, and then the subsequent one extends to 80,000. But the support lines, if there happens to be a correction on Wednesday or Thursday, they are at $55,000 and then at $45,000 and $40,000. So these are our key support levels. These specific green lines, they represent the support lines. You can also observe these blue lines. These blue lines, as I've previously explained to you, represent the trend lines. This is precisely how a breakthrough should appear. This is how a significant trend change should look. So for now, the trend has not yet changed. Therefore, there is a high probability, even in the event of growth, of a correction downwards from this specific point, that is, from the one I just showed you. And sooner or later, the Bitcoin price will undoubtedly start to rise and break through this blue line, but for the time being, it's still a little too early. That is, we currently have a significant issue between Iran and the United States. As soon as this problem is resolved and as soon as they begin to lower the interest rate, there's a very strong probability that we will see a trend reversal. So at this very moment, I'm waiting to see what the Federal Reserve will decide. This means I will most likely be opening long positions if the market rate starts to increase following the Fed's announcement. But for now, I would prefer to wait and hear what they have to say. Will they decide to lower the interest rate in the immediate future, or will they instead focus on the inflation data, which will be closely tied to the ongoing events between Iran and the United States? Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, is at resistance lines on these red lines. So Ether's first resistance lines are located here between $2,050 and roughly $2,250. This means there is a chance the Ethereum price will go down from these points. Ethereum is dependent on Bitcoin, and we are interested in where the next resistance line is. If there's a sudden surge because of the Fed, then that's approximately $2,580. So this is exactly where the next resistance line will be. From this specific point, there is a likelihood of a correction. We have already discussed the support zones. They are located right here within this specific range between these green lines. For now, we don't really need them, but if the Federal Reserve's actions cause the price to drop, then Ethereum's support level is approximately $1,720. This is specifically for the scenario where Bitcoin's price falls to $60,000. If, for example, Bitcoin's price drops to $50,000, then Ethereum's support level is right here at $1,250, and then we have $885 if Bitcoin's price happens to be at $40,000. As you can observe, the price of Ethereum is currently situated below the blue lines, indicating that the trend has not yet been decisively broken. You see, just like it was here, the price of Ethereum was moving downwards from the red lines, but at a certain point, it successfully broke through both the red and blue lines, and subsequently, an upward trend commenced. I want to see such a breakthrough. The Ethereum price has already broken the first trend line. This is a positive sign, but it hasn't yet broken the main trend line upwards. This XRP in recent days has also been moving sideways, much like many other altcoins. As you can see, it's currently positioned right on these red lines, which represent significant resistance levels. These particular resistance lines are situated between $1.52 and $1.41. This means there's a potential for a correction from these specific levels. So far, this anticipated correction hasn't occurred, and XRP hasn't experienced any significant growth either. We are interested in where the next resistance levels are located should the Fed's actions cause the rate to rise. Specifically, our current resistance line concludes at $1.52, and then the subsequent resistance line appears on this blue line right here, $1.84, $1.82. From these lines, there is a probability of a correction. You see how XRP went down several times from this blue line. Right here, especially when we saw a significant rise in January. Therefore, this blue line will still play an important role in the future. If the rate drops for us because of the Fed, meaning if Bitcoin drops, where are XRP support levels? The first support is right here. That's approximately $60,000 for Bitcoin. For XRP, this means $1.12 or $1.11. If Bitcoin's price drops to 55,000, then XRP will be right here, 96 cents. Then we have 80 cents. If Bitcoin's price drops to $45,000, XRP will be around here, 66, 67 cents. I'll zoom in so you can take a picture of this. By the way, please like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. That would help me a lot. Solana, just like the price of Bitcoin, is currently on the red lines. These red lines you see are resistance lines. They are located between $96 and roughly $86. So from these lines, there is a high probability of a correction. The next major move will be tied to the Fed meeting. So until Wednesday, things will be quite volatile. And on Wednesday, it will be extremely volatile, especially during the press conference itself. Plus, the next day, it should be very volatile, that is on Thursday. Even if we assume the price will rise due to the Fed meeting, it might drop again on Thursday. This has happened very often, so be careful on Wednesday and Thursday. Now, in case we do get a correction, let's see where Solana's support zones are. Here's the first support zone, $67. You'll need this zone if Bitcoin's price drops to $60,000. Then for Bitcoin, we're looking at $55,000. For Solana, this would translate to $56. After that, we'd see $47. Next, we'd be at $40 and then approximately $34 if Bitcoin's price were to drop to $40,000. You can also see this blue line here. You see Solana's price hasn't broken through it yet. It's currently approaching it. This suggests that very soon a significant movement should take place. Either we experience a correction right here or we simply see a clear breakthrough of this blue line and a subsequent rise. However, for that to happen, Bitcoin itself must also rise. So I think the next move will be tied to the Fed. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. You'll help me greatly by doing so, and you can share this video with friends. So there's nothing more to add about Solana. The next move will depend on the Fed. I also want to open a long position on Solana, but I'm waiting for the Fed's decision and the press conference. And the Fed meeting is important. The press conference is very important. And the following day, that is Thursday, is extremely important. It will be volatile. You will see it. I wish you a good day and see you soon. Bye.